Hi, my name is Alexa Larios-Lopez. For those of you that don't know me, I also go by Lexi. I graduated from Marathon High School in 2013, and I was an Avid Summer Institute speaker my junior year going into my senior year of high school, so approximately 2012. I'm currently a junior here at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm a nursing major, and luckily I got accepted into the program to begin this fall, and we actually begin classes this Wednesday. So I'm also very, very excited, but at the same time, very nervous. When I first came to FGCU, it wasn't such. The main difference between Marathon High School and FGCU was obviously there was more people, the campus was bigger, but I think that the AVID program did prepare me for my university courses as far as, time management, study habits, all those skills that I learned throughout the program have made me successful, in my opinion, here at FGCU. I first began doing Summer B when I was admitted to FGCU. I participated in the Step Ahead program, and that program is basically for first time in college students who, for example, like in my situation, I was a point lower on the ACT in math, but they looked at my extracurricular activities and my GPA, and they gave me conditional admission. And then I attended a workshop pretty much for Summer B, which was about 6 weeks, and I took a math test pretty much afterwards. And luckily I passed it, so I was guaranteed full admission into FGCU. So that was pretty much a great experience. I met a lot of new peers. I also made a great connection with my Step Ahead advisor, who is Miss Allison Bacigalupi here at FGCU. Then going into my fall semester, about September, I was fortunate enough to receive an invitation for the honors program here at FGCU. So at first I did feel discouraged because I did go to the mandatory information session that we had to attend, and it seemed like a lot of, how would I say, like just commitment in the sense of what is expected of you. I did think that maybe, I wouldn't be accepted, but luckily I came to my senses and I just made a decision to apply. Like, you never know what could happen. You never know if I would go on in life and always have that regret of not applying to the honors program. So I did apply, and about 4 weeks later, I got my acceptance letter. So I've been in the honors program here at FGCU since my freshman year in this university. Something else that I've always done in high school, I was very, very active, as some of you may know, in extracurricular activities like service learning, community service. When I first came to FGCU, I knew that that was something that I really did want to pursue because that's where my heart is. And one of the big connections that I have for helping others and lending a helping hand is because in my situation back in middle school, when I was accepted into the AVID program, that was like my service to me. I feel like the AVID program did that service to me, and it really changed my life around, and I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have that experience of being an AVID alumni. So I came to FGCU, and at first I tried out different things. I tried out programming board, which was a really unique experience, but it wasn't actually where my heart was. So I tried out programming board for about a month and a half, but then I looked for other organizations on campus that pretty much had the same interests, and I luckily came across the Dominican Republic Outreach Program, also known as DROP. So what we do in DROP is during our spring break, we have an alternative spring break. So we're fortunate enough to, we do different fundraisers over the fall semester in order to gather funds to take to the Dominican Republic. And we gather things like school supplies and like notebooks, pencils, glue, like different materials that the kids need over there. So over spring break, we traveled to the Dominican Republic for those 8 days that we're there. We volunteer at one of our partners, which is called Acción Callejera, which is pretty much called Street Action. It's translated in English. And we volunteer with the kids there. So we volunteer with at-risk youth. They're only boys. Um, so typically what our day looks like in the morning while we're over there, we're up at 7 a.m. until noon working with the boys. We do different activities. Every single year we have a different theme. And this year our theme for them was self-empowerment. So we base off different activities to encourage them to empower themselves. And our motto for drop is educate to empower. So we volunteer with them, we play different games with them, and then once noon hits, we pretty much leave the organization. And then after that, we go into different communities around the town where we're usually located called Santiago. So we go around different communities and volunteer also with the kids there, and that's where we spend our evenings usually. So we get to see, unfortunately, like the conditions that they live in. Some of the communities don't have running water. Some of the kids don't have access to education. So we volunteer with them, and then after that, we pretty much get to the hotel and just sleep and do it all over again. It's a really beautiful experience. I think that it's definitely, service learning is definitely where my heart is. Um, the way that we do split donations in the Dominican Republic is we gather all the donations and we pretty much split them among all the travel members before we leave. And then once we get there, we split them among all the different communities in Acción Callejera. So each community gets a part of the donations that we're so fortunate enough to bring. Another program that I'm involved in is the Global Medical Brigades program. And what we do is we also take, not an alternative spring break, it's during summer, we take a service trip. And this year we were fortunate enough to go to Nicaragua, which is a country where I'm from, but it was a different village that I've never seen before. So that was a neat experience. So what we do in Global Brigades is we do 3 days of medical health and then 3 days of public health. So during the 3-day medical brigade, we pretty much split all the donations that we gathered. So like all the different medicines that we were fortunate enough to get, we split them between 3 days. And in those 3 days, we are working with this village that really doesn't have access to medical care. They don't have access to doctors or nurse practitioners or any of that stuff. And especially taking consideration that some medications are very pricey for them. So those 3 days, there are 4 sections that we as a group split up into. There's triage, there's consultation, charla, which is what they call when we educate the kids about, for example, hygiene. So we teach them how to brush their teeth, how to use toothpaste, like all that stuff. And then there's also pharmacy. And in pharmacy, that's where we work gathering, for example, we gather the medications, put them in baggies, making sure that we have the right doses and all the measurements correctly for the patient to get. So these people in the village where we went, it's called Esteli in Nicaragua. They pretty much get access to medical care for free. They get a consultation for free, and they're also getting their medications for free. They really do live in pretty unfortunate conditions. And that experience, after having this experience, it was my first time going this summer. I just went May 4th through the 12th. And then the 3-day public health brigade, it's pretty much where we work with a family in a community and we help them build pretty much like their bathrooms, their showers. Some of these families just pretty much use like any wood, like wooden sticks to like use for the bathroom. They put pretty much like a black tarp. Sometimes it's not even a tarp, it's just like a black plastic bag that they use to cover, and that's like their shower, that's their bathroom. So we pretty much just did construction those 3 days. We built like 3 different latrines. We also, some of the families don't have any cemented floors or any tiles, of course. The floor is dirt. They're living on dirt. So we were fortunate enough to help them cement their floor. And then after this experience, I've always have gone back and forth between either nursing school or med school. And this experience made me realize that the medical field is definitely where I want to be. I know most people, when they ask me like what major I am and I say I'm a nursing major, the follow-up question is, what type of nurse do you want to be? And my answer is, well, I don't want to be a nurse. And then, I get like weird looks like, well, you're a nursing major, why don't you want to be a nurse? But I try to explain to them that I really admire the nursing field, as far as, being able to really care for your patients and bond with them, and your level of attention for your patients to me is greater than just being a bio major where you really don't have any clinical experience. You don't learn how to do like injections, put IVs, or any of that stuff. So I think nursing school was definitely the right choice for me in order for me to accelerate my education and just better prepare myself for med school. So those are my goals. Definitely after graduation, I want to go to med school, and I'm leaning towards becoming a pediatrician or a surgeon. So far, like, FGCU has been like really, really great for me. I've had definitely like wonderful experiences. I've met new people. I think that Avid did really help me as far as like motivating myself, knowing that even though when times do get rough, like they always say, there's always a rainbow after each rain shower. So another organization that I'm involved in is called St. Baldrick's, which is actually through the honors program. And what we do, it's kind of like Relay for Life, but instead of like the overnight, sleepovers and stuff, we pretty much give everybody, we have volunteers, and what they do is they shave their hair. So we have one day on campus at FGCU where it's St. Baldrick's Day, and it's pretty much a foundation that finds a cure for childhood cancers. So we pretty much advertise our event throughout the community, throughout FGCU, and all the people that volunteer, they get a free haircut pretty much, but all the hair that they lose, it gets donated. And unlike other organizations that sometimes, they charge like cancer patients for the wigs that they use and stuff like that, St. Baldrick's actually make sure that it's 100% free for the patient, so they're not being charged for the wig that they're getting. That's something else that I'm involved with. And what else? Well, yeah, I'm here at FGCU. I think it's been great so far. Like, I remember when I first graduated high school, my heart was set on going to the University of South Florida, but I was denied admission. And I remember like last semester when I was applying for the nursing program, since you had to apply, you definitely don't know whether you're going to get accepted or not. And I did apply to USF as a transfer student just in case I had to transfer if I didn't get accepted to FGCU. But then I came across two decisions, whether if I didn't get accepted to FGCU, would I still stay or would I go? And then I came to a choice, well, whether if I didn't get accepted to FGCU, I told myself I would still stay. Because even though my first choice university when I graduated high school like didn't accept me, FGCU was my second option, and thus far it has been an amazing experience, like absolutely amazing. I think like my parents are very proud. They're glad I'm going to college. I am the first generation child, so they're very, very proud of me. And FGCU has also offered me like great opportunities. Like, for example, through honors last summer, I actually got to study abroad, and we went. There was a group of 10 to 12 of us who went to Singapore for 2 weeks. And luckily, honors gave us all scholarships, so that pretty much honors paid for pretty much the whole trip. We just took money to spend on food and stuff. So I got to experience a new culture with new people, different new beliefs, and that was amazing. I think that, for some reason, I wasn't accepted to USF, but FGCU has definitely, definitely been one of the best things that has happened to me so far. I would have never thought that I would have accomplished all the things I've accomplished here if it wasn't for also the AVID program that I was fortunate enough to have. Because one thing about AVID is that most people don't understand is, you can give a student that opportunity to be in the AVID program and you can encourage them to do it. But if the student doesn't have the motivation to do it and they don't take the opportunities that the AVID program gives them, then they're pretty much just losing out. It's up to you to take advantage of that opportunity and get the best out of it. So, oh yeah, and one other thing that I'm also here doing at FGCU, I applied for a resident assistant position last semester and I got it. So I'm currently a resident assistant here at FGCU, which is why I am actually unable to make it to this district meeting in person because we're currently in the process of checking new residents in, and that takes like times, and it's 4 to 5 days a week. So yeah, I'm lucky that I've actually, so far now I've realized that I've gone through FGCU work with different organizations, and this RA job position is going to be another experience to my list. One of our roles is we're also a student leader. We're a leader on campus, but also a leader in our residence halls. So yeah, but I apologize that I couldn't be there in person, but I hope this video kind of gave you an idea of where my life has gone so far. In my opinion, I think I'm doing really, really well, better than I thought I would be actually doing. I still do keep in touch with Miss Byoff, which is the AVID coordinator right now. She's great. I also keep in touch with Miss Heather Doney, who was our previous AVID coordinator, and she was actually the teacher when I was chosen to be a AVID Summer Institute speaker. But I hope this video kind of gives you an idea of what the AVID program can actually do for a student if they take the opportunities that the AVID program can provide for them. So, thank you.